Modern medicine operates on a model of extreme categorization, isolating human ailments into thousands of distinct diseases to map them to specific chemical interventions. Naturopathy operates on an opposing, unified axiom. Foundational texts in this field argue that there is no myriad of diseases, but rather a single disease, a single cause, and a single cure. Naturopathy functions through a distinct epistemological framework, moving beyond the simple substitution of pharmaceuticals for herbs. To understand the system, we must abandon the practice of attacking specific diseases from the outside and instead trust a unified internal biological logic. The physical root of illness is Vijatiya Dravya, or morbid matter, a toxic burden accumulating from poor lifestyle and diet. The counterforce is Jeevani Shakti, the vital force, the body's innate intelligent drive towards systemic homeostasis, working to constantly expel waste and maintain balance. The practitioner facilitates the environment for that vital force to operate efficiently, rather than attempting to cure the patient through external means. Healing is the inevitable result of removing obstacles so the body can do its own work. When an unnatural lifestyle forces the digestive system to expend excess energy, the overall vital force drops. This energy deficit allows Vijatiya Dravya to accumulate. Standard allopathic medicine relies on the assumption that external pathogens are the primary cause of illness. Naturopathy rejects this premise. This is terrain theory. Germs are secondary scavengers. They cannot survive in a healthy body. They breed where morbid matter provides a suitable environment. The body's primary defenders, white blood cells, fail to destroy pathogens when the internal terrain is compromised by a toxic load. Catching a viral infection is a symptom of a pre-existing systemic failure to maintain a clean internal terrain. When the toxic burden reaches a critical threshold, the vital force mounts an aggressive response to forcefully expel the accumulated Vijatiya Dravya. We experience these rapid expulsion events as acute diseases, conditions presenting as fevers, colds, vomiting, or diarrhea. This leads to a formal principle of the text. Acute disease acts as a friend to the body. Medical suppression disrupts this defense mechanism. Using drugs to stop an acute symptom traps morbid matter inside, forcing toxins deeper into organs, causing severe chronic disease. Treating the symptom interrupts the body's self-administered cure, turning a temporary flush of toxins into a lifelong condition. Because the root cause is always morbid matter, localized diagnosis is less important than addressing the whole body's toxic load. When a patient adopts a natural lifestyle, the vital force strengthens and begins pushing deeply suppressed toxins back to the surface for elimination. This process creates an expected temporary exacerbation of symptoms, known as ubada, or the healing crisis, which must run its course without chemical interference. To facilitate this crisis, interventions manipulate the Panchamahabhuta, the 5 physical elements. Ether is applied through fasting, rerouting energy toward elimination. Water is applied via hydrotherapy for circulatory stimulation, and earth via mud packs to draw toxins through the skin. The naturopathic texts also recognize a 6th non-physical element, Ram Nam, which denotes spiritual and mental purification necessary to treat the mind-body-spirit continuum. The naturopathic prescription consists of an orchestrated environmental shift, directing the body to initiate its own internal cleansing. These vitalistic principles were empirically mapped by 19th century Europeans, who found that standard medicine failed to resolve their own chronic illnesses. Vincenz Priestness discovered the mechanics of the water cure after observing wounded animals repeatedly bathing their injuries in cold streams to trigger a healing response. Father Sebastian Kneipp took these observations and institutionalized them, developing structured protocols for hydrotherapy, natural diets, and lifestyle reform. This era produced highly specific modalities, including Louis Kuhn's targeted sitz baths and the widespread use of mud therapy to draw out accumulated toxins. These methods expanded into structured air and sun therapies as a means to restore elemental balance to sick patients. These pioneers independently proved that manipulating external natural elements could predictably trigger the body's internal healing crisis. At the turn of the 20th century, these European protocols migrated to India through translated works of Louis Kuhn and Adolf Just. Mahatma Gandhi adopted, tested, and institutionalized these practices within his own communities after reading Just's book, Return to Nature. Indian practitioners synthesized these European empirical methods with the ancient Vedic framework of the Panchamahabhutas, creating a modern Indian naturopathy. This synthesis led to dedicated nature cure hospitals and secured high-level political support from figures like Morarji Desai, who integrated the medical protocols with yoga and spiritual discipline. Modern naturopathy is a historical convergence, the empirical protocols of 19th century Europe mapped onto the ancient spiritual cosmology of India. The Central Council for Research in Yoga and Naturopathy grounds the entire system in a single academic summary. They define naturopathy as a system of non-building in harmony with the constructive principles of nature. Healing within this system originates from the body's relentless drive toward homeostasis, independent of clinical administration or laboratory manufacturing. Aligning with this logic necessitates a radical humility, stepping aside to let natural elements and internal biological mechanics complete the work.